ডান নাকটা, শ্বাস নিন বাঁ নাক দিয়ে, বাঁ নাক বন্ধ করব, শ্বাস ছাড়ুন ডান নাক দিয়ে। শ্বাস নিন ডান দিক থেকে, ডান দিক বন্ধ, শ্বাস ছাড়ুন বাম দিক।
Good evening. Welcome to 360 Event Center. Tonight, we'll continue with yoga and we'll learn more about what you have just seen on the screen about a yoga steps. Today, our special guest for yoga, Naz Ahmed. Welcome, Naz Ahmed. Thank you for joining with us. And I would like to request you if you could explain more about those yoga steps. Thanks.
Hello everybody, welcome to Yoga and Me. Thank you for connecting with me via the 360 Event Center. Thank you, Adamai. We will be learning today about sun salutation and pranayama technique, which is called alternate breathing. In Sanskrit it is Anulom Vilom or Nadi Shuddhi. So in sun salutation, it is a warm-up pose to start any yoga session or any yoga class. When during any day, if you don't have too much time, if you do a repetition of the sun salutation A, this is sun salutation A. If you do this 5 times minimum, then it's a good stretch out of your body. If you have time to repeat it for 10 times and at a pace which is a little bit vigorous, then you'll get a good 10 to 15 minutes workout to start the day. It does involve, if you do it at a vigorous pace, then you will be getting a bit of cardio activity, a lot of strength training because it involves plank, and a lot of stretching as well. So it does involve connection with the earth as you stand in the Tadasana pose. The first pose is the Tadasana pose, when the 4 corners of your foot is connecting onto the earth. And that is one connection that you make. As you rise up with your inhaled breath and lift your arms all the way up, you will be seeing the video soon. That is, you're cutting through the air and breathing in air, and you gaze up, pointing towards the thumbs or the back of the thumbs as the hand touches into prayers. If it doesn't touch up above your head all the way into prayers, you can keep it straight, parallel to each other, but you look up and raise high up to elongate each and every organs of your body as you reach up. Then you come down all the way for a forward fold. We learn that every day, on an everyday basis, there must be 5 or 6 poses that we must do even if we don't have too much workout time. One is a forward fold, another is a backward bend, and the other two are the twisting, which involves abdominal twisting. So everything is covered in sun salutation, if not too much of twisting, but reaching up, elongating, and forward folding. You do have a little bit of back bend when you look up on an upward facing dog. So your shoulders open, your heart space opens to the earth as you look and gaze up. And that is a very good warm-up. It's just a warm-up, but you can, in a progressive yoga class, you can take this onto a handstand and make it quite a strong practice if you do that. So jumping back and forward. If you watch the video, then probably you'll get a bit of idea of what we're saying, what I'm saying. But sun salute means I'm very grateful to you, the divine or the God or whoever you're believing in. I'm so grateful to you, with that feeling, with that emotion, because yoga comes with the mindset. And with that feeling, you are saluting the sun, or you're so grateful for the energy that the sun brings us to make or start our day. That is the intention of the pose. So Atharpur Bhai, should we go ahead and watch the video a little bit, or what do you think?
Sure. We'll go for the first video. That will be in the screen soon.
নিয়ে উপরে যান, নিচে চলে আসুন, ফরওয়ার্ড ফল, ব্লক লাগলে ব্লক ইউজ করেন, হাফওয়ে লিফট, সামনে তাকান, কিচ্ছু করবেন না, শুধু সামনে তাকান। এবারে হাত দুটো প্রেস করে চলে যান প্ল্যাঙ্কে, প্ল্যাঙ্ক থেকে সোজা লো প্ল্যাঙ্কে, এক্সেল, ইনহেল আপ, এক্সেল ডাউন। এখানে আপনি শ্বাস নেবেন 5 বার, ফুল ইনহেলেশন, এবং শ্বাস ছাড়ুন। প্রতিটা ইনহেলেশনে আপনার হিপ উপরে যাচ্ছে, প্রতিটা এক্সহেলেশনে আপনার মাথা সব কিছু রিলিজ হচ্ছে। আমি আশা করি আপনি শ্বাস নিচ্ছিলেন। আরেকবার সোজা তাকান, বিগ স্টেপ ওর স্মল স্টেপস, যেটা আপনার সুবিধা হয়। এক্সহেল করেন এখানে, ইনহেল আপ এবং কাম হোম। চলুন আমরা দুবার করি শ্বাসের সাথে। কাম ইনহেল, দুয়ে এক্সহেল, ত্রিনি ইনহেল, চারওয়ারি, বিগ স্টেপ or jump back, lower down, উপরে আসুন, আপ ডগ, শোল্ডারটা খুলুন এবং ডাউন ডগ। আবার রেস্ট করুন। 1, 2, আপনার বেলিটা হলো হবে, পেটটা টেনে উপরের দিকে ওঠান, তাতে আপনার ব্যাকের মাসলগুলো অনেক স্ট্রং হবে এবং অনেক ব্যাক স্ট্রং হবে, আপনার ব্যাকে পেইন হবে না। সামনে তাকান। আপনি যদি জাম্প করতে চান, পা দুটাকে একসাথে রাখুন এবং জেন্টল জাম্প। আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছেন নিশ্চয়ই যে আমি বাউন্স করছি, কারণ আমি প্রিপেয়ার করছি একটু জাম্প করার জন্য। করার সাথে সাথে আমি ফরওয়ার্ড ফল করব, শ্বাস ছেড়ে উপরে আসবো, অ্যান্ড কাম হোম। আর একবার শ্বাস নিয়ে উপরে যান, শ্বাস ছাড়ুন, halfway lift and go back to plank. Inhale up, exhale down. আসুন ভিরাসানা পোজে। এটা হচ্ছে সূর্য নমস্কার এ, সান স্যালুটেশন এ, যেটা আমরা সবসময় শুধু ওয়ার্ম আপের জন্য করে থাকি। আপনি আপনার হাতে বেশি সময় না থাকলে
এতটুকু করলেই আপনার সারা বডি খুব ওয়ার্কড আউট হবে। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। আবার দেখা হবে। আল্লাহ হাফেজ।
নাজাপা,
So,
ইয়েস, এটার ব্যাপারে আপনি কিছু এক্সপ্লেইন করবেন কিনা?
Gee, of course. So this was the sun salutation. Although the video was in Bangla, but pretty much you are inhaling and exhaling with every movement. If you do not, please understand that if you don't incorporate the breath with your movement, it is not yoga. It becomes a fitness workout. So, however you want to take it, you will be benefited, but. When you reach all the way up, looking up, gaze is very important. It triggers your attention towards where the movement is going. So as you inhale, you reach your arms all the way up. As you exhale, you forward fold. And you have listened to my Ujjayi breath, a breath that I have a video for in my website, and it has a sound of an oceanic sound. I think in the previous session we had observed a video where I was talking about this oceanic sound. It happens when you constrict your throat a little bit. So when you inhale, if you have heard me, then that has a sound to it, and it's a very strong sound. So we are expecting that exhalation when you're on a downward facing dog. So when you're on a downward facing dog, that is an inversion pose. Now, that is a very common inversion that everyone should be doing when your hips are up and your head is down. So that triggers a good blood circulation of your body, and it triggers a lot of energy. It gives a lot of energy because you are facing down, your center of the head is facing down. So gazing is important. You do not close your eyes when you are on a down dog. You try to, the gaze should be at your belly button. Now if that is difficult for you, because sometimes your neck is not so stretched out enough for it to hang down at such a distance so you can gaze at the belly button. It really gets hard. If you do it, you'll be able to understand, wow, how can I gaze at the belly button? However, if you can gaze at the belly button, then that's awesome. But if you can't, don't worry about it. You can gaze at your upper high bones or your knees even, but keep the gaze constant. Don't look here and there. Keep the gaze and breathe long and deep inhalation. Exhale with an Ujjayi breath. So, and another point that I want to
একইভাবে আপনার পাটা পেছনের
Another point that I would want to let you know is when you're forward falling, if your arms don't reach all the way down, doesn't matter. Let the arms hang or hold your shin bone. You don't have to press on the shin bone. Just hold it for support, or let the head hang. You can see in the video that there is yoga blocks or bricks that we use that is just for support. It's quite readily available in any fitness shop here in Australia, or I'm not very sure of Bangladesh, but I'm sure it would be available with the studios that we have in Bangladesh. So these are a lot of support that you should have, and it is not very expensive. So get one, and if you are able to use that, then it really will help you open up your body as you practice yoga.
Thank you. Should we go for the next video?
Yes, sure. We were watching a little bit of the same video where I was stretching my psoas muscles and also doing a bit of back bend. If you want, or Atapurabhai, if you have a bit of time later, then you can just we can finish off with that video. Otherwise, we can talk a little bit about the pranayama technique, which is the Anulom Vilom in the other video.
প্রত্যেক দিন করুন। চলুন তাহলে চোখ বন্ধ করে আমরা রিল্যাক্সড হয়ে বসি, হার্ট স্পেস রিল্যাক্সড, শোল্ডার রিল্যাক্সড, সোজা হয়ে বসেছি। নাকটা বন্ধ করব, ডান নাকটা। শ্বাস নিন বাঁ নাক দিয়ে, বাঁ নাক বন্ধ করব, শ্বাস ছাড়ুন ডান নাক দিয়ে। শ্বাস নিন ডান দিক থেকে, ডান দিক বন্ধ, শ্বাস ছাড়ুন বাম দিক। করবেন আমাকে পজ করে কন্টিনিউ করুন। যদি এখান থেকে বের হতে হয়, আমি দেখেন চোখটা এখনো কিন্তু বন্ধ করে আছি, দেখতে হবে না, শুনুন আমাকে শুধু।
I should be talking about this video, I suppose, Atapurabhai.
That's right. Yes.
Okay, so this was a very day-to-day pranayama that we should be doing, 5 to 7 minutes, if not more. If you have never practiced this breathing technique, then it is crucial that you start doing it, because it is called alternate breathing, alternate nostril breathing. So we start with our left nostril, closing the right nostril, and when we close it, the video does explain that when we close it, we don't close on the fleshy part of our nose, we close on the bony part of our nose, right? And when we close the right nostril, we breathe through the left nostril, inhale through the left nostril, and then close the left, exhale through the right nostril. and then you come back again and stop on left. So you start with left, you inhale right. As you exhaled from the right, you inhale from the right, and then close the right, exhale through the left. That is one cycle. So you start from left, exhale out on the right, inhale through the right, exhale out from the left. That is one cycle. Now, if you do this cycle, alternate breathing, it is. Look, we are not medical, professionals, but we learn in the yoga classes that our left side of the brain actually controls the right side of the body. So this breathing really helps clear the nasal passages. Now, I do understand that some of you who has polyp in your noses, or you struggle to breathe, then probably this pranayama would not be very suitable for those people. However, if you have high blood pressure, if your nasal space is quite clear, but you have other issues such as high blood pressure, sugar problems, hypertension and things like that, blood pressures, you should be doing this. Try doing it sitting comfortably. You have seen me sitting on the ground. You don't have to sit on the ground. I do this practice when I am in my office desk, sitting there in my lunchtime before I go to lunch. If I can take out 5 to 7 minutes and 5 to 10 rounds of breath, starting with the left, finishing off at the left, is one cycle. So I'm talking about 5 to 10 cycles if you can manage that time. Closing your eyes, sitting on the chair, but sit tall. Sit tall, shoulders back, your chin up, not too up, but even if you put it up like that and practice, that's also fine, that's no problem. After you finish the 10th round, when you're done, one of the common problems that you may face if you're not used to it is your arms get a bit tired, staying there and closing your eyes. So eventually when you become tired, you will let things go. But as you open and come out of the meditation, if you were able to get yourself into that doorstep into the meditation, then it will take you time to come back. And take that time to come back. You will feel refreshed and nourished onto your headspace specifically. And it will really help you to get the rest of the part of the day at work or whatever you're doing. It really nourishes your thought processes, relaxes your nervous system, and therefore helps you progress through the rest of the part of the day after you have spent half of the day and you may feel tired. So this is a pose that will help you to overcome the tiredness if you can arrange a 5 to 10 rounds of this breath on a minimum.
Thank you. You are listening Naz Ahmed from New Start Health, explaining about few style of yoga. I would like to, Naz Ahmed, beside yoga, what are the other factors you think that is important in life beside yoga? For example, meditation or healthy food, healthy lifestyle. If we can talk about a bit about that, it's not only yoga, but we have to do few things more.
Yes, absolutely, Atharva. That's a very good question. I like your question. The reason is, as I told you in the previous session, if you have watched my session and listened to me, that we are Ashtanga practitioners. So Ashto in English would be, or in Sanskrit, it's a Sanskrit word, and it means 8. So it has 8 limbs, and in the 8 limbs, Yogasana, which is the practice of the poses that you're seeing on my videos there, particularly in the sun salutation video, it is a pose. Downward facing dog is a pose. So before you come to practice the poses, you are supposed to be going through two more limbs. One is called a yama and the other is called niyama. So that means, what should I do? What shouldn't I do? So if you ask me, am I a full-time yogi? No, I'm not. I am an ordinary person going every day to work. My work is very stressful. We've got customers, we've got students, we've got many desks seated for 8 hours, 9 hours and doing the job. So you can call me an undercover yogi, and I want to educate everybody and tell everybody you don't really have to be a yogi. Or if you want to lead a spiritual life, you don't have to leave everything and go live by yourself. You live within your family to lead a spiritual life. You can work like any other person, just like your life. I have the same life. If I can do this, you all can do this. Eating habit. We grew up with a different eating habit. Do we change it? For the betterment of the health, yes, we do. Every culture has, for example, looking at Indian food, paratha, spaghetti, Italian food. Are they very healthy? Are they very good? If you ask me, then I would say no. No, but can you eat it always? No. Can you eat it sometimes? Yes. So there is always a bit of balance that you need to draw into your life. Too much of anything is bad. Although if you listen to a real yogi, if you talk to my yoga teacher, she would never. If you go out for a coffee with her, she wouldn't have a full breakfast. We are the students who are having a full breakfast with coffee. She wouldn't. So is that possible for you to take that sort of lifestyle in your life? Is a question you ask yourself. I do meditation, which is like a guided meditation for people who struggles to sit down. When I was offering yoga in a gym in Sydney, clients were so hyper and so filled with energy, and they were like, Naz, we can't sit down. This is not meditation, it's not for us. But it is for you. Sit down to connect with yourself. Silence is a treasure you have when you can connect with yourself. That is when you breathe in silence, listen to the breath. That is yoga. Because that is when you feel the pain that you may have on your knees. You may have pain on your shoulder, on your back. If you don't have any pain on your physical body, you surely have some pain on your mental body. Did anyone hurt you in the last 7 days that you can think of? Did anyone tell you something that made you really down or sad? Nothing outside that exists from you can move you if you practice the meditation and the yoga. So the yogasana actually strengthens your body, and when you practice it with the breath, the movement with the breath, it enhances your mind capacity. And then when you sit, so we don't learn to do meditation unless we are physically fit. And we're not even given any meditation unless we're physically quite into the practice. So then when you sit down, then that's when, the practice of the yogasana will put you into, that is the fourth limb. So yama, niyama, yogasana, and then comes pranayama. That's not meditation, that's just breathing technique. After pranayama practice, when you're able to sit 15, 20 minutes without moving, and you're like in meditation, a dhyan, or dhyan, that we in Bangla say dhane boshi. So when we are sitting in dhyana, what do? We connect ourselves to the divine, to God, and we call God. So is it that you want to connect to, or what is it that you want to do? So you have to really go through these steps, and it takes years and years and years and years of practice, years and years and years of dedication, and that's yoga. That's a complete yoga, So of course, what you eat is what you give to your body. Your body has grown up from your mother's womb to this size now, just because you gave it food. If you didn't give it food, it wouldn't have grown. So give the body something that nourishes the body, that is good for the body. Whatever is good you think. Sometimes what is good for you may not be good for me. You're a different individual, I'm a different individual. I have to find what is good for me. If it is good for me, then I can probably take it. It doesn't bother me. I shouldn't sleep like a dead person. If I sleep, that alertness within my sleep should always be present. We sleep like a dead person because we eat bad. So that eating bad and eating in the wrong time is also puts you into sleep like you're a dead person. So you can't do that. You are always connected. That is your resting time, and your body physically and mentally rests, but you're still breathing. So it's a journey that you can take and choose to take. It will really, even if you do a wrong yoga, the gurus say, it'll still help you. It'll still somehow benefit you. Somehow you get benefited. It is so beautiful. So we all need to walk through that path, and some days when you don't have too much time, that's fine. Some days when you have good time, then give yourself a good yoga practice. Some days when you don't, you're still breathing, you're conscious, you're alert, you're mindful of everything around you. That's the most important thing, or the most important aspect of yoga that makes you a yogi.
Fantastic. Thank you for explaining many of the things. But in a nutshell, I found some of them were hard bit to do it bit hard. Like you need years and years to be a yogi. So does it mean that we shouldn't try?
No, you should try. When I say years and years, I meant the journey of the 8 limbs may take years and years. So if you want to go from pranayama to samadhi, where you're out of this world, but you're still living. You are in some other world mentally. So that is a state where we are even not there. So that's where I mean that's a journey, and it comes to you on an everyday basis. However, if you practice even 2 weeks, I tell you, if you sit down just now after closing of the session, just for 5 to 10 rounds with Anulom Vilom, after you open the eyes, see how different you feel. Do you at all feel different, or nothing? So I can guarantee you'll feel very relaxed, if not anything else. You'll be letting go of everything that you have had, and you'd be very, very nourished in your brain. So you don't really need to go, for your life to experience yoga. If you do it now, you will feel it now.
Right. One last thing I wanted to ask.
Sure.
People that think if I start doing exercise or yoga, maybe within a week or maybe in 2 weeks' time, there will be a magic. I'll be slim slim fit body, very fit. Is it really possible to get that quick?
Nothing comes quick. Everything comes in dedication. I'm not going to say you won't feel the effects of yoga in your body. You will really feel very energetic, because every cell of your body will be worked out through the breath that you are taking while you're moving. And I can promise you, if you do a complete yoga class of a 60 or a 90-minute session, there will not be any cell in your body which has not been touched by the yoga asanas. I wouldn't say, this is a very good question, because all ladies tell me that, can I just lower down on my tummy? I don't need anything else. I'm good in my body. Your tummy is, there's a word called gut feeling. Gut works like your brain. Your tummy grew not in one day, isn't it? It took time for you to grow your tummy to that level where it is now. If it is considering, if I consider it is, you have a big tummy, in comparison with the rest of the part of the body. So you need to give it time to get back to shape. So I wouldn't say in 2 weeks practice, 1 week practice, you're going to be a perfect body. I can't say that. For that, yes, I can say it if you're dedicated to a 90-minute yoga practice in the morning, and maybe go for a run or a jog or a swim in the evening. A good 1 hour run and a good diet and a good yoga practice may help you reduce down your weight. Yes, if you'd want to do it in such a short time, but you'd be tired. You're giving your body too much and all in one time, like eating food, a lot of food all in one time. How do you feel? You feel too tired, you feel like you can't breathe. So you gotta give yourself 3 months time, you'll see a difference. Definitely you'll see a difference, a good difference, provided you maintain the rest of the other things, you think properly. The most important thing is, sometimes we eat because we're not hungry, but we eat because for our mental happiness. It's called in our world now, it is called stress eating. Whether you're happy, observe yourself. Maybe one day observe yourself. When you are happy, you don't need food. You really don't. When you're unhappy, when you're stressed out, the word stress, I have heard, that if you look back 20, 30 years ago, this word was only used in physics. But now it is in life. Previously, the word that we used is we're in a bit of tension, or there's a bit of challenge, or I'm very tired. But the word stress, and now from stress to stress management, there's no such thing as stress management. There isn't, because you have to think properly. Your thoughts lead to your destiny. So that is a yogic thinking. That is really a yogic thinking. You always have to be alert what is going on. How will I tackle things? If you get too overwhelmed, which is very common, if you ask me, don't I get overwhelmed? Of course I do. Don't I get angry? Of course I do. But when I feel, oh my God, I'm really very nervous, or I'm getting very angry, I'll take myself out, sit down, breathe. Very hard, but very doable. Doable. That's your practice. That's the practice. I hope I have answered your question, Abdul.
Thank you for explaining. And yes, many of us, we think that it's a magic we have started and it will be like fast track. And you are right that we forget that years and years we did some bad habit, didn't control our food, our diet, maybe didn't control our daily lifestyle. And then when we think about the exercise or yoga, we feel that it's just a matter of, how many days, 7 days or 15 days. So yeah, it's what you have explained, that makes sense, that it's a natural process and we have to do that practice. We need to focus on that. So when would be the next day 2? We'll have more advanced level for the yoga. Yep.
Yes, I think we can come again next week. Isn't that right?
Correct. I just want to mention for the community that This is a community services and very kindly offered by Naz Ahmed through the New Start Health. And thank you once again for that, Naz Ahmed, for offering your services and expertise in these. In future, we'll be doing yoga and maybe one or two songs as well, if we can, just to make it more mix and bit more interactive. And we'll be sharing more steps, advanced steps. So those who has watched today this program, we would request that you please watch this day one to understand the start with. What would be your recommendation?
For the upcoming days?
Yes, if someone wants to really follow, like, is it the good start today? What we have done, they can follow from
Yes,
here?
definitely. Definitely. So if you are, we have discussed today about sun salutation. If you would like to do a 5 to 10 round sun salutation in the morning and close your day with Anulom Vilom, 5 to 10 rounds minimum. That's a minimum. Do it for a week. If you have questions, come back to us next week. And of course, I offer my services via my website. It is, it is something I charge very minimal. So it is, the intention is not to earn any big money out of it, but it's just educating our community, educating our community to look after themselves, take care of themselves, being mindful and being part of not only the community but part of the whole world, where you are living, and live mindfully, live joyfully. The most important thing, that every moment that you're living, live that moment, and because that moment never comes. So that is the intention, nothing else. So maybe if you are a person who don't practice anything, I would suggest please practice a 10 round of sun salutation with breath movement and 10 rounds of Anulom Vilom in the evening or in the afternoon, whatever suits you. You can do that more if you have time, Anulom Vilom of course, and even sun salutation, but it's a good start. As I said, sun salutes are always warm-ups. So they're nothing very strong. It can be made strong, but you're doing it as a whole. We'll try to come in the future with joint flexibility, or we'll try to come with, before we move on to other balancing bodies, which are just very related to fitness. You will see a lot of those movements in fitness classes, but fitness has a breathing which is different as opposed to a yogic breathing. And I know both, so we'll do that gradually and step into the real realm of yoga.
Thank you, Naz Ahmed. That was awesome, and I think those who watched, they will be definitely benefited if they want to, and those who will be watching, they will be benefited as well. And we want that start your new life with New Start Health. So health is wealth, and if you have wealth, of course you'll be happy. So if you want to be fit fast. So we are not promoting anything, but we care about you. So from that point of view, we'd like to request this community services, don't give it away because it's free. Only you can feel or you can understand if you value it. So health is the most important and valuable thing. Although I am saying, but maybe I don't care as well, but since I have listened this, I should be caring. And we have one life, one time, and we should live it well, we should live it full. So thank you so much, Naz Ahmed, for joining us today. I hope our community, they will be benefited out of it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.